What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you are on the podcast platforms, please do subscribe to the podcast. And if you are on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button as well as the like button while you're at it. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. Let's just go ahead and brighten up the place. And let's get into this conversation/reality chat. This is about Love and Marriage Huntsville. And more specifically, this is about Latisha and Marsau. They have been a constant conversation. And one of the reasons why is, I believe, because even though we may not have any solid proof that Marsau has been unfaithful to Latisha, there have definitely been a lot of accusations that have flown around social media, as well as from his own friend, Martell. And even though Martell may be a liar, not every liar ever, goes by without ever speaking the truth. I just say it like that. Not every liar never speaks the truth. And Martell's facial expressions showed a lot of truth in terms of the questions that were coming up, because I will say this. I don't know how many parts this reunion is going to be. It's either going to be 3 parts or it's going to be a lengthy 2. It'll probably be 3. But I didn't expect them to really go in as soon as they did on this first part of the season reunion of Love and Marriage Huntsville, because Carlos King, I feel, has been a bit of a softie on Latisha and Marsau, because so much over these past seasons has been about Martell and Melody. And to be honest with you, at this point, we can be over the Martell and Melody questions back and forth when it comes to the reunion, because they're no longer married. They went through so much. She decided to say, you know what, I'm calling it quits. I want out. And she went out, and we know that Martell didn't want the marriage to end. He wanted to be able to cheat in peace. And she said, I'm over it. I'm done with it. But Latisha, she threw it in Melody's face about the infidelity. And I don't know why Latisha just really hates Melody. And I hate to use the one that most people fall back on, oh, she's just jealous, because that's an easy thing to say. But I will say that I do believe that there is a spirit of jealousy there. I do believe that there's a spirit of jealousy there when it comes to Latisha against Melody, as well as some insecurities that Latisha has within herself, and her husband doesn't help the situation, because when the questions would come up, Marsau would never just outright say, I have not been unfaithful. I love my wife. I would never do that, or I have not done that, or anything like that, where it's just a concrete, solid answer. He plays around with the questions and likes to answer questions with questions, or give some soliloquy, or give some example, or use some story. And it's just like, dude, have you been unfaithful to your wife or not? And yeah, some people may say, well, that's none of your business. But these people are on a show, okay, called Love and Marriage Huntsville. So it is going to be about your love life. It is going to be about your marriage. Are you happily married? Have you been unfaithful? Do you really love your wife? A lot of people see it and they don't believe that he really truly wants to be with her. I'm not saying he doesn't love her. I do believe that he does care about her. But in my opinion, it doesn't seem like he likes her very much. And that's hard to watch. So I believe that that is one of the reasons why Latisha really tries so hard to convince people that her marriage is great and it's so great to be married. Marriage can be a great thing, but the person that you're married to makes a big difference. And I'm sorry, Marsau may be I don't even want to say he may be a great father, because I'm sorry, he doesn't come across as the type where he's just like this loving, doting father. But we don't really get to see much of that on the show either, because they haven't really showcased a lot of that. And the things that they have allowed us to see is like, he doesn't know what his children's allergies are. He wants his wife to just be home and take care of the kids while he's out and he does everything. And you don't worry about what's going on. You just stay home and take care of these kids and allow me to handle everything. Now, he has allowed her, and when I say allowed, I mean that. I believe he has given her permission to have a little bit more freedom over these past several seasons because she asked. And it's freaking weird and ridiculous to me because I'm sorry, I could never be in a marriage with someone where I needed to ask permission to work, ask permission to do this, ask permission to do that. Having conversations and having mutual agreements on certain things, I can get that. I can understand that. But it's just weird to me. And so she just cannot get through her head that I don't think a lot of people even really care that much about her marriage. It's just the fact that she has tried so hard to convince people that her marriage is so great and put some respect on our marriage. We've been married for umpteen years. The number of years we've been married really doesn't matter if it looks like crap. Who would want to be in something like that just because you've been in it for a long time and in for the long haul? That doesn't make it look any better, honestly. So we know that Melody and Martell, they were in a marriage. They were married for many years and they called it quits. Latisha, she is in denial to the fact that there are some pretty rampant rumors out there, and a lot of times where there is smoke, there is some fire. But she refuses to see the smoke. She turns her back to the smoke. And she said on the reunion, well, no one has showed me any solid proof. And I get that. No one is asking her to leave her marriage on the strength of a rumor. I don't believe anyone would even ask her to leave her marriage. Some people may say, well, I wouldn't stay in it. I wouldn't be married to someone who treats me like that or speaks to me that way or doesn't respect me or, you know, the other things that people come up with reasons for. It's not just the infidelity that could possibly have happened and the rumors that are out there. It's the fact that she wants to convince everyone that her marriage is so great, and the fact that she threw it up in Melody's face when she said to Melody, good luck with your husband and his girlfriend and him buying her a matching BMW or something like that, or Mercedes, whatever it was. Either way, Latisha was making fun of a situation that no other woman, especially somebody who was, I believe, as insecure as she is overall and also in her marriage. You shouldn't throw something like that up in someone else's face, because she was basically saying, my marriage is better because my husband has not been unfaithful. But here's the thing. Let's say Marsau hasn't been unfaithful. That's not the only marriage breaker. Because as crazy as this may sound, people, as crazy as this may sound, not everyone's, and when I say everyone's, not every man has an issue with being faithful. There are men out there that do not cheat. That is the truth. I know some people may not feel that way because they have been cheated on, but there definitely are men who have not been unfaithful. But there are men that have other issues besides being unfaithful. So basically what Latisha uses as an excuse for why she stays in the marriage, it's like, he doesn't respect you. He's not the nicest person. He really sees you more of like an object. Like, they would fit in perfectly in Arab countries, because he really, to me, just sees her as the caretaker of the children, some property. You do this, you do that. Yeah, your name is on the business, but I'm sure there was a purpose behind that was more beneficial for him. It's not because he sees her as an equal or anything like that. I am assuming. I don't know, so this is just my opinion. But I am assuming her name being on the business had something to do with some credit situations, and it was more beneficial for him to handle it that way versus him seeing her as a support system, my equal, my partner. Because the things that he has said has revealed that. When Stormy's husband and Marsau were having a conversation about business, and Stormy's husband was talking about how they made over $20 million together, working together, and Marsau, he really didn't care. He was like, well, shoot, I did this much on my own. Like, pretty much he was just saying, I would rather just work alone. I don't want to work with my wife. So he's using her. He's using her name for the business purposes. It's not because he respects her in that way. And in all honesty, it doesn't even really feel like he enjoys being married to her. When they went to Vegas a couple of seasons ago to celebrate their, I believe it was their 15-year wedding anniversary at the time, he couldn't just patronize her to say, you know what, yeah, let's just go ahead and renew our vows, wink, wink. He was just dead set against it. And so I believe that if Marsau really did cheat, she would stay. But she only said that if she found out that he was cheating and that's a deal breaker in her marriage, she would leave. I just believe she was just saying that for the sake of the cameras to try to make herself appear that she is a strong woman, when in actuality, I just don't believe that she really is. I believe she's weak. I'm not saying that to be insulting. I do believe that she is weak in those areas. And hey, it's okay. No one is forcing her to stay or leave. Just be honest. Don't try to make yourself appear to be something that you really aren't, because people see right through it. And it looks pitiful. It really does look pitiful and pathetic. And I'm for marriage. I really am. I'm a married woman myself. I don't sit and talk about it all the time. I don't understand why she makes everything about, oh, marriage is so great and yada, yada, yada. But when they do these videos together, he just doesn't really look like he enjoys being with her. To me, it seems more like it's business than personal. And it's a sad thing to see, because for her to say that when Carlos asked her about Marsau going all the way to another continent alone because he needed some alone time, not because it was a business deal that was going on and he had the limited amount of time to handle things. We had to figure out something to do with the children and it just wasn't going to work out. So it just made sense for wifey to stay home while I go and handle the business dealings. No, he said he was depressed and needed some alone time. So he went to another continent, the continent of Africa, alone. And she said how he came home and once he explained it to her, then she understood. I don't believe he explained anything to her. I believe he said, this is the way it's going to be. I'm going to Africa, whether you like it or not, and I'll see you when I get back. That's my belief. I could be wrong, but I just don't really believe that he said, you know what, babe, I'm just in this really dark space right now, and I really need some alone time. I just need some time away to just get my thoughts together, and so I think I'm going to go to Tanzania. So, how do you feel about that? What? You could have went to a restaurant. You could have went to the bar. You could have went to church. You could have went anywhere locally. Or hell, you could have even went to freaking Tennessee. You're in Alabama. You had to go all the way to the continent of Africa to have some alone time. I just don't buy that. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that Latisha is going to go anywhere. And hey, that's fine. I would much rather her say, you know what? I'm staying. And I don't care what anyone says about it. Like there was this scene from A Different World. If you ever used to watch A Different World, there was this episode where the guys and the girls were feuding on the campus. So the girls were going to have a boycott. Don't be with any of the guys and, you know, just do what you got to do so that you don't have to pay them any attention. And Whitley was dating Dwayne. And so she was supposed to be boycotting, and she finally was like, you know what, screw this. This is, you know, not what I'm doing. I'm in a good relationship. I love my man. And so when the girls saw her with Dwayne, she was just like, that's my man. and I'm standing by him. And she didn't care what anyone else had to say. She was like, look, I'm with him. I don't care what y'all have to say. And I just feel that if Latisha just did that instead of trying to make herself seem that she's a strong woman, people would just leave it alone. Because people are going to judge the relationship because you're on a show called Love and Marriage Huntsville. You choose to be on this reality show, and the rumors are swirling and the rumors are out there. And they left on a cliffhanger where Latisha was saying that she found this picture in Marsau's phone of another woman, and then they leave it there. So of course we have to wait until the next episode to see exactly what she's talking about. But I do believe she's had her suspicions, but I just believe she's chosen to ignore them. And hey, if that's the way you want to live your life, then do that. But don't try to come at someone else's relationship or tear someone else down because of the decisions that you have chosen to make to stay in your marriage come hell or high water. That's your choice to do so. You don't have to leave. Infidelity is not a deal breaker for everyone. And I don't believe it's a deal breaker for her. I just believe that she's trying to save face and trying to show that she's strong and showcase this front for the people when people already see it for what it really is. And I just believe that she really goes hard for this marriage situation because she wants to be seen as the total opposite of Melody. She sees Melody as a failure because Melody got out of her marriage, even though most people see Melody as a winner because she chose to get out of something that was extremely toxic, and now she's just been skyrocketing ever since. Latisha sees the end of a marriage as a failure. She sees it as a fail. She sees it as a loss. And it's sad that she sees it that way, but because she is so wrapped up in this marriage as if it is what truly makes her, then that's just the way it's going to be. So if Marsau cheated and that was really exposed and all of the receipts were put in front of her, like she was saying, show me some pictures, show me some real receipts, I don't think she would be going anywhere. And you know what? It's your marriage, it's your life, and that is completely fine. You have the choice and the decision to just decide what you would like to do, and nobody can make you stay, and definitely no one can make you leave. But just do that. Stand in it and say, that's my man, and I'm standing by him. Okay? So guys, you let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.